Welcome to my latest case, The Curse of Blackmore Manor. Dear Ned, greetings from jolly old England. Although right now I'm not so sure about the jolly part. That's because I'm on my way to Blackmore Manor, where the daughter of one of our neighbors is living. The daughter, whose name is Linda, recently married Hugh Penvellyn, a British diplomat. Hugh travels a lot, so the only people at the manor with Linda are Hugh's aunt, Mrs. Drake, and Hugh's 12-year-old daughter, Jane. The thing is, ever since Linda moved into the manor, her health has gone downhill. She's practically bedridden, and no one seems to know why. Her mother is convinced something is terribly wrong and wants me to find out what. So here I am, about to be dropped off at a huge centuries-old mansion in the middle of a dark, foggy moor. I can't tell whether the butterflies in my stomach are because I'm excited or just a tad creeped out. Talk to you soon. I hope. Nancy.
Night, miss. Good luck.
Nancy. Who's there? Hello? There's something out there!
Where, child?
Over there! I mean, something was out there.
Come in. I'm Mrs. Drake. I take it you are Nancy Drew?
Yes, and I really did see something, Mrs. Drake. I heard something, too.
Oh, people are always seeing and hearing things on the moor at night, especially you Americans. Why don't you just go on up to your room? It's the one with the moon on the door.
I'd like to see Linda, if I could.
I'm afraid Linda is, not quite ready to meet with you just now. But please, come see me after you've unpacked. I'll be in the conservatory.
All right, thank you. Wonder what goes there. Something fits in here, but what? A tripod. For a camera, maybe?
have to learn this?
Yes, I'm afraid you do.
We're in lessons right now.
I need the key. I need something else for this.
Oh, forget it. Stay in Italy as long as you want, then. Some kind of husband you're proving to be. It's not all in my head. Don't bother.
Linda? Hi, it's me, Nancy Drew.
Nancy Drew, our friendly neighborhood detective. Well, welcome to Blackmore Manor. I apologize for greeting you under such unusual circumstances.
And I'm sorry to have to bother someone in your condition.
My condition? What's my mother told you? What her son-in-law keeps telling me? That it's all in my head? That I'm just an unhappy new bride? That I just need time to adjust? I'm tired all the time, my mouth is dry, my vision is blurry. But that's not important. Here's what's important, Nancy. There are some doors that should never be opened. There are some doors that hold secrets which must never be known. That's everything you need to know. Now if...
Mummy, can I come in?
No, you're supposed to be in your lessons.
Lessons are over. I want to meet Nancy.
I said no, Jane.
Okay.
That was my stepdaughter. She can be such a pest sometimes. Anyway, I understand you feel an obligation to my mother, but trust me, there's nothing you can do. You're welcome to stay, but I strongly recommend that you go home as soon as possible.
I can't go home empty-handed. It might jeopardize my ace detective status. Linda? Okay, I'll let you rest. But I'll be back. I'm here for you if you need me. This must be Mrs. Drake's room. Guess she's not in her room. Oh, it's just a parrot.
Scared ya?
Polly want a cracker?
Not Polly. Lolo. 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 Lolo.
Okay, I get the point. Lulu.
Lolo. 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 Lolo.
Do you by any chance know Latin?
Quiste rogavit, bene vidi vici, semper ubi sub ubi, morituri status.
I'll take that as a yes. Would you mind translating something for me?
Fire away.
Aequinoctium vernum.
The longest day of the year is solstitium, the summer solstice. The shortest day is bruma, the winter solstice. Equinoctium vernum is a spring equinox. Equinoctium autumnalis is a fall equinox. Day equals night. Lulu's always right.
Bye, bird.
Lulu. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I need the key.
The time has come for closing books.
There goes my cell phone. Hello?
Hi, Nancy. It's Mrs. Petrov. How is everything? Have you seen Linda yet?
Literally speaking, no, but I did talk to her. Not that she told me anything.
I'm just about at my wit's end. I've never known her to act like this. The last doctor that examined her said that aside from a little dry skin, which is not unusual for her, she was perfectly fine.
Why is she hiding behind that curtain?
I have no idea. When I was out there last week, I got fed up and pulled the curtain back. She threw a fit, but otherwise she looked absolutely normal. A little pale, perhaps, but who wouldn't be pale, cooped up like that? Something has changed her. Something in that house. Hugh is just as bewildered and upset by her behavior as I am. Please get to the bottom of this, Nancy. You're our last hope.
Who exactly is Mrs. Drake?
She's Hugh's aunt. She's taken care of Blackmore Manor ever since her brother died. He was Hugh's father. She's a bit of a character.
In what way?
The way she spends all her time in that conservatory, slouching around, trowel in hand, murmuring to herself. You'd think she was burying something. Or somebody.
Where is Hugh?
He was called to Rome. As a diplomat, he's always being called out of the country without warning and without any say in the matter. He'd much rather be there with Linda, although
Mrs. Petroff? Are you there?
it's just that Hugh said it hasn't been very easy for him to talk to her lately. Whenever he calls, which is at least once a day, Linda always seems to fly off the handle for no reason, which doesn't make sense. Linda has always been extremely level-headed and even-tempered. She never gets angry. At least she didn't used to.
Goodbye, Mrs. Petroff.
Goodbye, Nancy. Oh, one more thing. My niece is on call and her husband's out of town, and I told her I'd go over there and babysit if she had to work. So if you call and I don't answer, that's why. Bye.
Ah, yes. Are you here from the agency? It's about time.
Agency?
Oh, dear. You're not the typist from the spiffy specialty agency, are you? Well, how do you do? I'm Nigel Mukherjee.
Pleased to meet you. My name's Nancy Drew. Are you visiting Blackmore Manor?
I'm researching the Penvillen family, and Mrs. Drake has graciously opened the library for me. Nothing much has been written about the Penvillens. Until now.
Why do you think that is?
It might have something to do with their scandalous history. Or perhaps it has something to do with the family treasure.
Family treasure?
For centuries, the Penvillens have been very secretive. Some believe they're protectors of a fabulous treasure. Or of some dark secret. There are several skeletons rattling about in the Penvillen closet. Take, for example, Eleanor Penvillen, tried and convicted of witchcraft in 1650, quite the height of the witch trials here in Essex. It was rumored that Cromwell arranged the conviction.
Cromwell?
Oliver Cromwell? Ironsides? I suppose they don't teach history any longer in the U.S. Lady Penvillen was a rather vocal critic of Cromwell's policies and helped many of his enemies flee the country. Whether she actually was a practitioner of witchcraft is unknown, although many visitors to the manor during her tenure reported hearing strange, ghostly bells. Some even saw phantom hands floating about the manor, tolling their charmed chimes.
When I arrived here, I saw some kind of creature with red eyes outside.
Perhaps it was the Blackmore Beast.
What's that?
It's a story that's been told for generations out here. During the 1600s, many of the villagers reported seeing a strange beast with red eyes and giant fangs prowling the moors. They asked the mistress of Blackmore Manor, Eleanor Penvellyn, to put a bounty on the beast's head. But, oddly enough, she not only refused, she forbade anyone from hunting the creature. It was rumored that the beast was Eleanor's husband, whom she had cursed for finding out too much about the Penvellyn secret.
Who are all those paintings of in the Great Hall?
Those are the Penvellyns who owned Blackmore Manor at one time or another.
You mentioned some kind of scandal with the Penvellyn family?
Well, having a family member burned as a witch can hardly be considered a mark of pride, I dare say. And then there's the whole business with the Blackmore Beast.
I'll let you get back to your work.
Farewell. Those manuscripts are very old and brittle. They date back to the 14th century. Odo Penvellyn collected most of them. His father, Randolph, and son Milo were rather more interested in military victories than in book collecting. I doubt you'll find much of interest in there. They're mainly law books. Charles Penvellyn was a prominent judge in the 16th century. Sad to say, he lost his son at a young age, left his estate to his grandson, Thomas. Those are mainly Penelope Penvellyn's collections of French novels. She was a patron to a raft of artists, and her salon was quite popular. She was quite the libertine, even kept her maiden name after her marriage. Achoo!
Gesundheit.
Danke.
Do you mind if I use this computer?
No, not at all. But it's very old. Feel free to use mine if I'm not here.
Who's Alan?
Alan Penvellyn was a noted researcher in computers and languages. Jane let me into his computer, but there was nothing much of interest on it.
What's the password?
I'm not sure. Achoo!
À tes souhaits.
Merci. Fascinating piece, isn't it? James Penvellyn sculpted it in 1591, although it appears that wand was added at a later date. He was quite a flamboyant figure and never married, but one day, a child appeared quite mysteriously in the castle, and he took her in as his own. That was Eleanor, and many of the townfolk believed her to be a changeling or fairy baby.
A carnivorous plant. Cool. That's probably not a good idea.
All settled in? Good. I'm happy that you're visiting Linda, but I know how much you teenagers like your televisions and loud stereos, so I must insist that you act respectfully and civilly while you stay with us. Since my nephew Hugh is away on business, I am in charge of this household. And if there's one thing I cannot stand, it's noise. Hugh's daughter Jane is staying with us and would very much like to meet you. But please try not to distract her. She has her studies and mustn't be disturbed during her lessons.
Is anyone else staying here?
We do not have any permanent house staff, if that's what you mean. The Penvillans have always been self-reliant. We get on quite well without being continuously mollycoddled by a squadron of insipid, gossiping ne'er-do-wells. Now, we do have two other house guests. Our Mr. Nigel Mukherjee, who is researching the Penvillan family history in the library, and Ethel Bossany, Jane's tutor.
Do you know what's wrong with Linda?
Oh, Linda simply needs some time to adjust to her new living situation. England is not the United States. We do things differently, or should I say properly, here. The doctor believes it's just a case of nerves.
Her mother told me she refuses to let anyone see her. Is that true?
I don't know, and the doctors don't know. No one seems to know anything. All I've been told is that Linda is unwell and that in her stead, I must look after matters. Now, please, I really do not have time to entertain you. You may have the run of the house, but do not break anything, and refrain from mucking about with items that aren't yours. Two rules Jane seems incapable of following. And before I forget, our kitchen is being remodeled, so our dining situation is rather unorthodox. I've made arrangements with a local restaurant to deliver meals to us. There should be a programmed number for them on the phone in your room. Feel free to order whatever you'd like.
I'm concerned about that thing I saw outside.
It was purely your imagination, unless you saw a stray dog. But I will not countenance any histrionics about this issue. We have enough to worry about with Linda. And please do not get any ideas about going outside to investigate. I do not want you tracking mud all over this house.
Can you tell me about Lulu?
Lulu is a very old parrot. She must be over 80 years old. Please be very careful with her, especially if you feed her. Parrots have quite delicate constitutions, you know.
Do you know what the password is for the computer in the library?
No, that was my brother's toy.
Goodbye.
Run along. Who's hungry? Who's ready for some nummies?
Did you say something, Mrs. Drake?
Not to you, dear.
Ah! Doesn't work. Looks like John Penvillan may have developed. up some of the plants that are in here himself. Looks like a piece is missing. I'd better stay inside. If I track mud in the house, Mrs. Drake'll kill me. Wonder what happened in there.
Hi! You must be Nancy. I'm so pleased you're here. I'm Jane. I know you've come to visit my stepmom, but I'd love it if you could pop by whenever you get the chance. Oh, we'll have such fun. Let's play a game.
Sure, Jane. What would you like to play?
Let's play this card game I found in your room. Actually, it's Bridget's room. I mean, it used to be her room. I mean, she died like 300 years ago. You can see a painting of her in the Great Hall. She's the one with the telescope. Okay, so you have to match up a pair of constellations. I made all the matches in 25 tries. Try to beat my record.
Nope, couldn't beat your score. That was fun, but I'd like to ask you some questions.
Sure, what do you want to know? About Mummy? I mean, Linda. I do hope you'll help. She's been a bit out of sorts lately.
Do you know why she doesn't want to be seen?
I think maybe it's because of the lady in black. I was playing in Mummy's room when she wasn't there, and when I looked up, there was a lady all dressed in black putting something on Mummy's nightstand.
Did you recognize the woman?
I couldn't see her face because she wore a cape with a hood. The lady put a note on Mummy's nightstand, but I didn't read it. That's when Mummy started feeling poorly. I don't want to think about that. Let's play a game. It will cheer me up.
Sure. What would you like to play?
Look inside the chest over there and pick a game. My great aunt said it's a hope chest, so I put my games in there in the hope someone would come over to play. We can play Bull, Constellation Match, Petroglyph Punch, Skull and Bones, and I also have a jigsaw puzzle.
You sure have a lot of games.
I love games. I want to make computer games when I grow up.
Feel like playing Skull and Bones?
My friend Hugo bought this for me. It's like Go Fish, but you have to collect 3 of a kind of weird things like zombies and ghosts. You go first.
Do you have any ghosts?
Go dig. Any bones?
Sorry. Do you have any skulls?
Here you go.
Do you have any bats?
Sorry. Do you have any coffins?
All yours.
Any bones?
Go dig. Do you have any tombstones?
Dig. Any bones?
Get out your shovel. Do you have any spiders?
Dig. Your witches, please?
You're going to have to go dig. Do you have any zombies?
Here you go.
Do you have any zombies?
Sorry. Any haunted houses?
You're going to have to go dig. Do you have any witches?
Here you go.
Do you have any witches?
Go dig.
I got a match.
Do you have any coffins?
You're going to have to go dig. Do you have any ghosts?
Dig.
That's a match.
Any haunted houses?
Go dig. Do you have any tombstones?
Here you go.
Do you have any skulls?
Here you go.
I got a match. Do you have any bats?
Here you go.
That's a match. Do you have any spiders?
Here you go.
Do you have any zombies?
Dig.
I got a match.
Any bones?
Afraid not. A match? You're doing great. Do you have any spiders?
Dig. Do you have any coffins?
Sorry. Do you have any haunted houses?
Here you go.
I got a match. Do you have any zombies?
Sorry. Do you have any coffins?
All yours. You got a match. Good for you.
Do you have any spiders?
All yours. A match? You're doing great.
Do you have any zombies?
I win.
You're so good, Nancy.
The lady in black you saw in Linda's room, did she look like anyone you know?
Like I said before, I couldn't really see her face, but she was kind of dressed like the lady in the Great Hall.
Which lady?
Eleanor. I know it sounds weird, that's why I didn't want to tell anyone. It's too creepy. Sometimes wonder if I just dreamed it all up. Mrs. Drake is always saying I have a rampant imagination.
Do you know what the password is for the computer in the library?
Yes, but I won't tell. Not unless you beat me at Skull and Bones. You go first.
Do you have any haunted houses?
Nada. Do you have any spiders?
Afraid not.